Hey guys, it's Krishanti with Krishanti.com, talking all about intuitive development and psychic development and personal and spiritual growth. And somebody asked me to cover the whole notion and topic of spirit guides. And it's a very interesting concept. I learned how to be intuitive and psychic, to tap in and tune in. And when I was first getting into all of this, I heard about spirit guides. I didn't grow up knowing about them or talking about them or anything like that. It just kind of came on my radar. And so when I first started hearing about them, I thought it was really kind of weird, to be honest with you. I'm like, well, what would that person be, or being be, and where would they be from, and all of that. And I read a couple of great books. One was by Sonia Choquette called Ask Your Guides. I love her style of teaching. And another was, what is it? It's by Ted Andrews, Meet and Work with Spirit Guides. And both those books were really helpful to me in tuning in. Now, I trained in the clairvoyant method, so specifically like a clairvoyant school, where they teach you to be clairvoyant. And so we do a lot of exchanges and trades with other people. And I had to focus really hard to kind of get that feeling of tuning in and knowing I had a guide or guides. But what was encouraging to me was that other clairvoyants, when tuning into me, would get a sense of the same type of energy. Always, for years and years now, they've seen a blue guide. A couple of people saw the other two that I've seen a lot too. One is yellow and one is fuchsia. Now, I'm very visual and clairvoyant, so that's how they initially came through to me. I've been working really hard at learning how to be clairaudient and to do channeling work. And so working that way is something I've been doing recently, like with my guides, and with one in particular who's been coming through. But if you're a beginner with this whole guides thing, first and foremost, it helps to know who it is you're communicating with and why they're helping you. And what I've seen in sessions with people over the years is that sometimes I'll ask for a guide or ask for whoever it is, like wherever in the great beyond, to come through. And instead of a guide, it'll be like someone's grandma. Grandmas and grandpas love to come through, so they're always there. But that's not necessarily like a guide. It's basically the spirit of someone who's crossed over. Now, spirits of people who have crossed over can help you with life circumstances and things. They can be your helpers, so to speak. But the thing is, you do have to exercise caution. Now, I know I'm hesitating because every situation, as I always say, is different according to different parameters that are being set up, and the energies and spirits you're talking to. But if it's a soul of somebody who's died, you want to be careful that they're not carrying with them all the personality traits from this lifetime and giving you advice just like they would if they were a person. Because, and Sonia talks a lot about this, it's only so helpful. And if you're going to tune in for guidance from beyond, from all that is, would you want to just hear what Grandma Lucy had to say about this or that? Or would you want to actually tune into somebody that's amazing and can help with a whole vast spectrum of things? So very interesting. And you can set up who you want to come through and who you want to talk to. Absolutely. Every book about spirit guides will tell you, set your intention to communicate with the highest level of guide possible, and there's no reason why you can't. But if you want to just establish that you would like a guide who perhaps isn't a spirit who's been on earth over and over again, you can. Now, some people really like mediumship. They love communicating with spirits who have crossed over. Typically, what I've noticed is those spirits are dwelling on the astral plane, And it's very easy as a mortal, as a human, to just step up and start hanging out on the astral, to talk to beings on the astral, to just kind of be there. It's sort of like this place we all go. What I found out is that when I kind of elevated my consciousness and went into a reading space, I would just very easily step up into the astral, but that's not the most healing and nurturing realm to be in. And I'm an extremely sensitive person. I'm just super highly sensitive, and that's why I don't do mediumship, because the emotions are so powerful. You got your dead people here who are bummed out, you got your living people here who are bummed and also very frickin' angry. I've been on the receiving end of people screaming at me because I'm their like emissary of God or whatever, like through me they're talking to. And that's the thing, it's why I don't do mediumship, but I have sometimes talked to people who understand I'm not a medium but still want to see what I can talk about, and it's been challenging, so I just kind of like avoid all that. But my whole point when rambling on about that is, like, some people are good at it and some people are too sensitive for it. I'm one who's too sensitive. And what I have learned over the past year or so by some higher level guides, which I'll talk about in a minute, is that if I elevate my consciousness like higher up, like I jump even more up, and I absolutely shut down and bypass, close the valve, shut the door to the astral plane, I can be in a different space that's much higher and much more like filled with light, and feel like energized and recharged as I'm doing a session. Now, that was kind of like diverging a little bit here, but let's cycle back to the whole spirit guide thing and your spirit guides. I feel like a lot of what I'm saying about them is recapping what I learned from Sonia Choquette, but basically, I feel like she knows what she's talking about, and she always says over and over that we have as many as like 33 guides at one time. Like, you don't have to have just one spirit guide and that's that. Guides can change over the course of a lifetime, and with this channeling work that I've been doing over the past year, I have noticed, like, when I go to this other space, many more come through, and they're of a certain caliber or like a high level of energy. So I've talked to medical guides who help me with health in the physical body. I've talked to my main guide, the blue one, who has a blue signature, a blue sort of vibration, learning a lot more about him. And I call him a him because to me his energy feels masculine. I've talked to like light beings and all kinds of different energies over there. You too can tap in. One of my friends has a guide who's like a fairy and very fun and sprightly. Other people, again, are very comfortable with saying, like, when I need help, I just tune into my mom who died, or my grandma or whatever, and that's fine too. Once when I was tuning into my husband a long time ago, I saw a Franciscan monk who was his guide, or appearing as a monk. So that's kind of the idea behind the whole spirit guide thing. You want to basically, people always want to know how to hear them better. What you want to do there is just tell them you're open and receptive, and just ask them to give you signs, to give you messages. When I really first started doing this, I was like, every kind of thing I was asking was like, if you really exist, show me this or show me that. And like, I would really get that evidence that I was looking for, like my personal symbols and signs and things. By the way, I have a whole workshop called Meet and Work with Your Spirit Guides on my website at Krishanti.com that talks all about it. So if you're interested, check it out. I also made a spirit guide meditation that's sort of fairy tale-esque that helps you to meet your guides. Doing those kind of practices that I present in the workshop and in the meditation really do help you get in alignment and in that space to connect with your guides. One thing people like to talk about is spirit guides' names. And what I feel is, that's valid if you really want to know who it is. and you're concerned if it's like this relative that died that maybe you don't want to talk to, or if it's, if it's like this grandma or that grandma or this, that, or the other. That's absolutely very important. And you can, in a meditative like space, you can try to ask for that to come through. You can do a reading trade with someone or get a session and see if they get a name. I personally steer clear of the whole name thing. I'm very good with descriptions though, so I can describe what someone is like and they'll be like, oh, I see. For many, many years, I knew my one guide that I'm talking to a lot now, more now that I'm opening up with the clairaudience and doing the channeling. I knew that guide because I would get a tickle in my ear, like a feeling of a tickle. And I would see this or get a feeling of that blue, as I said before. And even if that's all you have, that's fine. You can, again, ask them to give you a symbol or a sign that would help you understand a name. They don't really have names. If you're going higher up to these higher areas, they don't, speak English. They're more into energy and vibration. They're not American or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of name thing isn't so important. But you could call them things that you'd like to call them, or something that you think is a good name. And sometimes if in a reading a name is presented, it might often just be a name that they know you'll resonate with, or a name that you can associate with that puts you at ease. So again, you want to set your intentions to communicate with a high level guide. You want to be very clear. Try to just listen. Like with the clairvoyance, you just really focus on the imagery that you're getting. I have other videos about clairvoyance and a whole bunch of stuff about it at Krishanti.com. For clairaudience, you really want to focus. I'm feeling that little tickle in my ear. You want to focus on hearing, kind of turn the dial, kind of imagine your ears are really huge. A lot of different techniques you can do to open up to that and really focus on it. It took me, as I said before, quite a while to get good at it, and I'm still learning with the channeling. I'm all am I hearing this right? I don't verbally channel, write it out. And it's all very, very interesting. But for me, I do this every single day. I really work at it, and luckily for me, it is my work. But if you're wanting to do this too, don't think of it as a one-off thing. Really, if you're really keen on doing it, you do want to do it daily, just like you would a workout routine or a proper whole new eating regimen. You want to do it, invest the time, invest the energy to do it, and it will start to unfold. So that's that. And for more info on the whole world of intuition and psychic development and spiritual growth, check out Krishanti.com. And if you like this video, I should have said this in the beginning, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I do a new video every week, and if there are certain things that you'd like me to cover, just leave it in the comments below or send me an email, ask@Krishanti.com. I do sessions, and I do also one-on-one trainings, so it's all there, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.